Alright guys, in this lesson we're going to go over the investor from a contractor's eye. So we're going to look at what kind of pains and problems we can solve for the investor as a contractor. And not just as a contractor, but other industries that can also help the investor. So first we'll get into the pains of the investor, my last profession, and then we'll get into exactly how we'll have the tools to solve that with equity invoice contracts and information package for both contractor and investor. Some common challenges that I faced as an investor was market volatility. My 2008 was the COVID time, and it wasn't like anyone could have expected, and everyone tried to. But it wasn't until after COVID that we finally started seeing the aftermath and effects of it. And we currently certainly are right now in certain markets. Some of the markets still haven't came down. Florida, Texas, New York, they're finally starting to come down. What this means to an investor, it means there's a lot of unknowns. Whether it's going up or down, it's still an unknown and there's no way to predict it. The second issue is the manpower shortage in the construction industry. It is very hard to find a reliable, trustworthy, quality, skillful contractor that you can trust and rely on no matter how solid your current contract is with them. With that industry's issues, it floods into our industries and our issues because we use them as a service and a tool and a teammate and a partner. As an investor, although I may just be working on my houses and my portfolio, taking care of the financing, taking care of the construction, taking care of all the management of the aspect of this ABCD project that isn't out there to people to do on their own, the contractors are hurting the investors' field and industry. The quality, huge issue, and there's no way to hold it accountable. The only way to hold it accountable is the good old test and trial. Hire a contractor, let him do his work, see what his work is worth. You got references. There's many precautions you can do, but there's no guarantee to get quality work, and there's no guarantee that whoever's giving you a review of someone isn't biased, and also that they don't get paid until not just the work's done, but the quality of the work is judged based on the market and not the biased opinion of the homeowner or the contractor. Your single deal that you can negotiate with the homeowner or a contractor or an investor is a single basis, biased point of view of two people looking out on the whole market improperly. The contractor is looking at whatever he values his work as, which he values his work as whatever he can market perceived value to clients as and get booked. The homeowner's trying to bid around and get price quotes for everyone, but the construction industry isn't liking that. The construction industry is pushing back and saying, no, just go with the cheaper guy. I don't want to deal with you. Which leaves the homeowner literally going with the cheaper guy because that's their only option, and they don't have options for quality. Quality is either you pay the highest dollar or you got nothing. That's it. This industry isn't going to last long and it's not sustainable. It's going to divide and separate, and you're going to be left with worse than worse at the bottom, or even worse than worse in the middle, and there's going to be nothing but the top quality at the highest paid dollar of the $1 million properties, and then you got a $200,000-300,000 average dollar property, which is getting the worst quality. There's no middle ground. It just gets worse and worse as it gets divided. So how do we solve these problems for the investor and the contractors? Because the contractors need the investors. They may be able to go fool around the homeowners because they have more domain and they know their client homeowner doesn't have the knowledge, and knowledge is power in negotiating. Knowledge is power in that perceived value equation of what you should be paying for a property or construction. So with equity invoice contracts, we're going to provide a stability to the construction industry, which amplifies into the investor industry to create stability in the contractor's pricing and quality. There's no standardization in 2024 for contractors' quality. We can say that it's fair market value of whatever you can get in the market, that's bullshit. A good old bullshit. Trust me, if you can't compare your prices, then it's very controlled. That control right now is in those contractors' hands. The investors are able to push back and negotiate and talk with the contractor. Contractors right now are not seeking investors. They're seeking homeowners because they can push them around as a subject matter expert because they know homeowners aren't talking to as many contractors as investors are. And investors are the ones on the line for the whole project. So as much as a contractor wants to say, I'm the subject matter expert on it, the liability still rests on that investor. You may have the permits and I may be able to hold you liable for your insurance and whatnot, but who owns the land and who owns the property and whose money is paying everything? The investors. So again, contractors, know your place and we can work together. If you want to be an investor that's making more money than investors, be an investor. Use equity invoice contracts. If not, stay a contractor. Stop bullying and pushing around homeowners thinking, hey, I know my value, go pay someone else and get shit work. Because you know they are going to do that. Breaking open this little secret and making it well known to everyone establishes rapport, trust, and communication. The issue though is that there's an avoidance. Anyone can avoid the issue or the problem and say it's not there because they don't have a solution to it. If they can't see a guided path to a clear solution, then what's the point of even recognizing that it's a problem or issue? It's more beneficial to avoid it because you don't have a solution. And go live on with your life and you'll see the ramifications later on. It may be another 5, 10, 15 years until we start seeing real ramifications of, all these new construction homes. They're not lasting a full 30-year mortgage. Why? That trust and quality automatically ensures security in the asset, in the industry. The more secure we have assets, the more secure we have workers, the more secure we have the different industries inside the macro industry of the real estate game, the more stable the real estate becomes. And as we know, the more stable that real estate becomes, our economy in whole becomes more stable. I'm not going to get into that and how that operates and works and how that's set up. That's a lot of history to get into. We'll stay focused just on real estate. But trust me, this is going to revolutionize real estate on many different aspects, all at one time. As an investor, I can amplify my security and reduce my risk with an equity invoice contract. When the quality goes up, when the trust goes up, when the communication goes up, and the stability is there, I can now securely branch out and diversify my portfolio to amplify my security. And the only way I can diversify is scaling. And I can't scale without cash in my pocket. There's only so much I can do and leverage so much of my cash and capital. After a point, I get cut off. And I have to wait until other projects are done. And as we all know, real estate isn't a short game. It's a long game. You got a month flip to a year flip. And on the worst end, like I've had, you could be 2 years until you're out of that project, even though it's been done for a year. Investors are always hating this pain that's lurking in the back of their mind because they don't know how the economy is going to shift. No one does. They don't know when the next pandemic is going to happen. They don't even know when the next civil war is going to happen because it is going to happen. It's a repeat pattern within history. Sorry, but it's going to happen. So, looking specifically as a contractor, how can I approach investors and fix all these pains for them? Or provide to them the information that there's this tool out here that fixes all of their pains for them. We're going to do this by first establishing rapport and connection, like any general communication tactics. Introduce yourself, say hello, general. Once we get into the technical stuff, we're going to start highlighting the stability. After we've established connection, saying, hey, I understand your pains. I'm sorry I was a part of that pain. Let's go ahead and fix all these pains, stop avoiding them. I'm willing to work with you with this equity invoice contracts and highlight the benefits to the investor, not to the contractor. I know it's a roller coaster ride of all the different perspectives and the hats we're throwing on here, but you got to stick with me. Don't get lost in staying on the last perspective. If you do, you'll get stuck and you'll see why there's so much division and selfishness on every industry side, on the contractor side, on the investor side, on the homeowner side, on the real estate agent side. There's a lot of friction. I'm hoping that this equity invoice contract can lubricate all that up because it provides a bridge for everyone to fix all these pains that we all have. You want to detail out the terms of how that contract works. We provide the tools for you with information packets, which is just a 1.5-page document. Nice little colors and everything for you that breaks it down specifically. Hey, it's a normal project, yet instead of paying me cash, you're paying me with the equity of the property. Simple. They will understand it 10 times more than you even pitching it to them. Give them a little breadcrumb and they will run with it, trust me. And then give them real world examples. There's nothing better than proof, real world proof for anyone. And the benefit of Wealth Tradie and our communities, our apprenticeship, our pro membership, and our master license, we offer that community for people to gather around and share those stories so that it's not just a made up story of theoretically this is what would happen, but hey, Jane over here with Bob did this, this, this. Smith over here with this property did this, this, this. So-and-so over here with this property did this, 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 and did this much revenue or this much savings. It's about collecting all that data, and the only way you can connect with that data is connecting with the communities, connecting with each other, not dividing each other in all the industries, but connecting all the industries, not contractors staying with contractors and real estate agents staying with real estate agents. The more a contractor can talk with the investor, the more he can understand his language and his pains and his needs. And the more I understand his needs, the more I can fulfill his needs and figure out not just how to fulfill their needs, but how does fulfilling their needs serve myself? And the more you can start looking in that lens for your business, trust me, the more it will grow because people aren't looking at you as just someone that's trying to make a buck. They're looking at you as, hey, someone's trying to do this mission with me, this goal with me. You know, people make plenty of business mission plans and goals, yet they don't understand when they actually make that, even if they forgot about it, you bring it up to them again, it's going to land and stick. It may have changed over the years and whatnot, but trust me, what's in here will outlast the physical world every time. So to summarize, we went over the pains of investors, and then we went over how specifically equity invoice contracts and the different tools Wealth Tradie provides with information packets in our communities that contractors can approach investors and solve these needs and issues for them, and not just for them, but for the whole industry, so this whole industry can also benefit from your individual action. And the next lesson, we're going to go over the real estate agent issues.